My precious children, heed this message, for time is swiftly passing. What lies before us is not mere political turmoil, but a divine unfolding of events long foretold. These are not just debates and decisions of men. They are the signs that the Almighty is revealing to those who have eyes to see. As the very foundations of our world seem to quiver, I urge you to look deeper beyond the superficial, beyond human words, to the divine truth that underpins it all. The hour of revelation is here, and the time to prepare your heart and spirit is now. The recent clash between Trump and Harris was more than a debate. It was a battlefield of the spirit, where the very fate of our nation hung in the balance. But fear not, for I have sent my servants to decode the hidden truths that lie beneath the surface. He reveals deep and hidden things. He knows what lies in darkness, and light dwells with him. Today, we bring that light to you. Dr. Phil. What we witnessed in that debate room goes far beyond words. The body speaks volumes, and today, we're going to uncover the shocking truths that were hidden in plain sight. Every gesture, every micro-expression tells a story that could shape the very future of our nation. For in these turbulent times, discernment is your greatest weapon. Today, we unveil the secrets that the powerful wish to keep hidden. Remember the words of 1 Corinthians 2:14. The person without the Spirit does not accept the things that come from the Spirit of God, but considers them foolishness, and cannot understand them because they are discerned only through the Spirit. Open your hearts and minds to this spiritual discernment. Dr. Phil, I've brought in the nation's top body language experts to break down every gesture, every micro-expression. What they've discovered will change how you view not just this debate, but every interaction in your life. We're about to embark on a journey of revelation that will shake you to your core. Expert 1. What we saw in that room was a battle of wills, played out in the tiniest of movements. It's a language as old as humanity itself, one that speaks louder than any words. Expert 2. The truth is written in their posture, their hands, their eyes. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. We're going to teach you to read this silent language of power and intention. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. Today, we become those watchful eyes, piercing through the veil of deception. For in these times of confusion and strife, we must arm ourselves with the wisdom to discern truth from falsehood, strength from weakness. Are you ready to see the truth? To understand the divine messages hidden within human gestures? Then stay with us, for what follows will shake the foundations of your understanding. As Jesus said in John 8:32, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Prepare for that freedom, my children. This is immediate breakdown, where the physical reveals the spiritual, and God's plan unfolds before our very eyes. Dr. Phil. Let's start with Trump. His posture, his movements. They tell a story that his words might not. We're going to dissect every aspect of his physical presence to uncover the man behind the persona. Expert 1. Notice how he stands, feet planted wide. This is a power stance, projecting strength and dominance. It's a posture we often see in individuals who are accustomed to command, to being the center of attention. Dr. Phil. But is it genuine confidence or a shield? What lies beneath this outward display of strength? Expert 2. Look at his hands. When challenged, they often form fists or point aggressively. This suggests defensiveness, a reaction to perceived threats. It's as if his body is constantly ready for battle, even when his words might suggest otherwise. Whoever is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city. What do these gestures reveal about the spirit within? Are we witnessing the actions of a leader secure in his strength, or one constantly fighting to maintain his position? Dr. Phil, let's dig deeper into Trump's facial expressions. They're a window into his emotional state during the debate. Expert 1. Trump's face is incredibly expressive. We see rapid shifts between confidence, irritation, and even moments of genuine surprise. Pay attention to his eyebrows. They often rise in disbelief or furrow in anger, sometimes within seconds of each other. Expert 2. And his mouth. It's a telltale sign. The tight-lipped smile we often see is what we call a masking smile. It's an attempt to cover other emotions, often frustration or disagreement. Dr. Phil. So what you're saying is that despite his words, Trump's face is constantly broadcasting his true feelings. Expert 1. Exactly. It's like his face is having its own debate, independent of his words. Voiceover. As we witness these revelations, let us remember Ecclesiastes 8:1. Who is like the wise? Who knows the explanation of things? A person's wisdom brightens their face and changes its hard appearance. We must ask ourselves, what wisdom or lack thereof is being revealed in these expressions? Dr. Phil. Now let's turn our attention to Harris. Her body language tells a very different story, doesn't it? Expert 1. Harris maintains an open posture, palms often visible. This traditionally signals honesty and engagement. It's a stance that says, I have nothing to hide. Expert 2. But watch her eyes. There's a sharpness, a focus that never wavers. She's not just present, she's hunting for openings, constantly assessing and reassessing the situation. Dr. Phil. So we're seeing a blend of approachability and intense focus? Expert 1. Exactly. It's a powerful combination, disarming yet assertive. Harris is presenting herself as both relatable and formidable. Be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. We see this wisdom played out in physical form, a reminder that true strength often lies in balance. But we must ask ourselves, is this balance genuine or a carefully crafted persona? Dr. Phil. Let's look closer at Harris's gestures. What story do her hands tell? Expert 2. Harris uses her hands to emphasize points, often with precision. Notice how she often uses a precision grip, thumb and forefinger pinched together. This gesture is associated with detailed thinking and exactitude. Expert 1. And pay attention to her head movements. She often gives a single, firm nod when making a point. This projects certainty and invites agreement from the audience. Dr. Phil. So her entire body is working in concert to reinforce her message. Expert 2. Precisely. It's a full-body communication strategy that's quite effective. My children, as we observe these intricate details, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. In the realm of leadership, how one communicates can be as crucial as what is being said. Dr. Phil. Now, let's look at how they interact. The contrast is striking, isn't it? Expert 2. Notice how Harris often smiles, even when delivering sharp critiques. This creates a cognitive dissonance in viewers, and likely in Trump himself. It's disarming and yet potentially unsettling. Expert 1. Meanwhile, Trump's reactions are more volatile. His expressions shift rapidly from dismissive to angry to what appears to be genuine surprise. It's as if we're watching his internal process externalized. Dr. Phil. What does this tell us about their mental states during the debate? Expert 2. Harris appears to be operating from a place of strategic calm. She's controlling the emotional temperature of the room, rarely allowing herself to appear ruffled. Expert 1. Trump, on the other hand, seems to be reacting instinctively. His body language suggests he's often on the defensive, struggling to regain control of the narrative. It's a more emotionally honest display, but potentially less strategic. My children, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. In the arena of leadership, these qualities shine through not just in words, but in every movement. We must ask ourselves, which approach truly embodies this wisdom? But there's more at play here than mere politics. These physical manifestations are reflections of a deeper spiritual battle, one that rages not just on debate stages, but in the heart of our nation. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Dr. Phil, let's dig deeper into specific moments that reveal the most about each candidate's true nature. These are the instances where the mask slips, where we get a glimpse of the person behind the public persona. Expert 1. Here, watch Trump's shoulders tense as Harris mentions his business dealings. The body betrays what the words try to hide. It's a moment of vulnerability, quickly masked by a counterattack. Expert 2. And in this moment, see how Harris leans in slightly, her gaze unwavering. She's not just speaking, she's challenging, daring him to respond. It's a power move, subtle but unmistakable. Dr. Phil. It's like watching a chess match played out in micro movements. Expert 1. Exactly. And look here. Trump's hand gesture, a dismissive wave. It's meant to appear casual, but the tension in his jaw tells a different story. Expert 2. Meanwhile, Harris maintains her composure, but notice the slight tightening around her eyes. She's maintaining control, but it's requiring effort. Who is like the wise? And who knows the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom makes his face shine, and the hardness of his face is changed. Today we witness this wisdom, or its absence, written in the very flesh of those who seek to lead. Dr. Phil. What we're seeing here is more than just a political debate. It's a clash of philosophies, of worldviews, played out in the arena of body language. Expert 1. Absolutely. Trump's body language consistently projects strength, but it's often reactive. He's fighting to maintain control, which can be read as either resilience or instability, depending on your perspective. Expert 2. Harris, by contrast, maintains a more consistent presentation. Her body language is controlled, strategic. But this very control might be seen by some as calculation rather than authenticity. Dr. Phil. So in essence, we're seeing a clash between raw, unfiltered expression and carefully modulated presentation? My children, herein lies a profound truth. Leadership is not merely about words or policies, but about the totality of one's being. As it is written in 1 Samuel 16:7, "For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart." Yet we must remember that even in these divisive times, our call is to discernment, not judgment. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness. Dr. Phil, before we conclude, let's talk about how viewers can apply these insights to their own lives. After all, the lessons we've learned here extend far beyond the political arena. Expert 1. The key is awareness. Start paying attention not just to what people say, but how they say it. Watch for inconsistencies between words and body language. These can reveal deeper truths in any interaction. Expert 2. And remember, this applies to you too. Your own body sends messages you might not be aware of. Cultivating self-awareness can dramatically improve your interactions and relationships. Dr. Phil. Powerful advice. In a world of increasing division, understanding the unspoken can be a bridge to genuine connection. It's about developing a kind of emotional intelligence that goes beyond words. Expert 1. Exactly. And it's a skill that can be developed. Start by observing people in your daily life. Notice how their posture changes when they're comfortable versus uncomfortable. Pay attention to micro-expressions, those fleeting facial movements that reveal true emotions. Expert 2. And practice congruence in your own communication. Ensure that your body language aligns with your words. This builds trust and strengthens your relationships. Dr. Phil. These are tools not just for understanding others, but for genuine self-improvement. By becoming more aware of our own nonverbal communication, we can become more authentic and effective communicators. The purpose in a man's heart is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. By honing our ability to read the unspoken, we draw closer not just to each other, but to the divine truth that connects us all. My dear children, as we conclude this revelation, Remember that what you've witnessed today is more than political analysis. It is a window into the very soul of our nation, a glimpse of the spiritual forces that shape our world. In these turbulent times, stay vigilant. Watch not just the words of those who lead, but the truth written in their very being. For in the end, it is not the loudest voice that prevails, but the one most aligned with divine purpose. Zrenia, Narod Gibnet. Today, we have sharpened our vision, peering beyond the veil of words to the truth that lies beneath. Let this newfound sight guide you in all your interactions, in all your decisions. The signs are clear, the hour is late. But take heart, for in understanding there is power. In discernment, there is hope. You now possess a key to unlocking the hidden truths that surround us every day. Share this message far and wide. Let the truth be known. Let wisdom prevail. For in these revelations lie the keys to our future, the path through the darkness that surrounds us. Subscribe now, support this divine work, and join us in the battle for the very soul of our nation. And you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Remember, every view, every share, every subscription is a blow against the forces of deception that seek to blind us. You are not just an audience. You are warriors in a spiritual battle, armed with the weapon of discernment. This has been Immediate Breakdown, where the physical reveals the spiritual and God's plan unfolds before our very eyes. But it is not the end. It is merely the beginning of your journey towards true understanding. May the Lord's wisdom guide you, may His strength sustain you, and may His love unite us all in these critical times. Go forth, armed with this knowledge, and be the change our world so desperately needs. Amen.